For me, it's no pressure. For me, it's an honor. It's an honor to be fighting at home, especially on one of the grandest stages at the AT&T Stadium. Most people from their hometown, most boxers from anywhere is not able to be fighting in their home at their football stadium. So this is great for me. It's a great opportunity for me, and I welcome the challenge. And like I said, there's no pressure.
You with the boxing guru. For this episode of Under the Microscope, we're going to focus in on Errol Spence' dominant, weird performance against Yordenis Ugas. Yes, it was. It was a strange match. It kind of went like I predicted as far as Errol getting the TKO stoppage. I said this over a year ago, and I said it yesterday while I was in Dallas, Texas, Irving, Texas for the big fight. I just knew Yordenis Ugas' style was just tailor-made for Errol Spence. No power, looping, sloppy, wide shots. Then he didn't use his jab. His jab would have been very effective against Errol Spence. It was weird. And then plus how Yordenis Ugas kept leaning over. I don't know if those body shots was affecting him. It wouldn't have affected him if he would have used his jab, because his jab was, I think, just as long as Errol Spence, so it would have offset Errol Spence. Plus, it would have made Errol Spence reach in more than he did, because Errol Spence was reaching in, falling in, getting countered with a sloppy right hand. So it was just a weird fight between both of them. But in this video, we're going to focus in on who has the best chance to dethrone Errol the True Spence. Whether it's my boy Keith one-time Thurman or Bud Crawford. I hope Keith Thurman get an opportunity first to fight Errol Spence. I believe it will happen, in my opinion. I could be wrong about this, but I really feel like the red tape with Bud and Top Rank, will linger on past this year. So I believe him and Errol, if they do fight, it will be in 2023. So that leaves my guy, Keith one-time Thurman, the man of the hour who get a chance to dethrone Errol Spence. I like that matchup. It's a very intriguing matchup. Like Keith one-time Thurman would say, this the matchup it should have been for all the marbles. Keith and Errol. That's how it should have been, in my opinion. Not Bud Crawford or Ugas and them. It should have been Keith and Errol getting it on. I would love to see that fight, even though Errol said he don't want to fight that fight or he won't take the fight. I just believe he will, because if Bud is caught up in this legal stuff between him and Bob Arum and them, who else would Errol, get a big money fight out of? In my opinion, it got to be Keith one-time Thurman. Keith would definitely be the man of the hour. Plus, I like his style of matchup because Keith definitely has the power, because Errol was taking a lot of shots, sloppy punches, shots that he was taking last night against Yordenis Ugas. So just imagine if Keith one-time Thurman touch him. Even though Keith don't hit as hard as he used to, but he still got a lot of pop, especially in that left hook. That left hook is definitely a dominant, effective punch, and I believe against Errol Spence, he definitely will be landing some hard shots, while Errol is trying to come inside and go to Keith's body, because everybody knows Keith, that's his Achilles heel. So Errol definitely will be trying that, because if they stay on the outside and just boxed each other, I think I would have to lean more to Keith one-time Thurman. He would be the favorite to outbox Errol. If he can keep Errol neutralized without letting Errol bull in, because Errol win a lot of his fights in like a dog match, dog fighting, where he comes in and just wear the opponent down, because he's naturally bigger than 147 pounders. in my opinion. So Keith will have to use his great agility, his lateral movement, his angles that he gives, because that would be very critical to offset Errol Spence. It would have Errol Spence on his feet all night long. So, and it will leave Errol Spence to only one shot at a time. So, Keith definitely will have a great chance. This will be an electrifying fight. This will be the fight that they can take to Vegas, not in Dallas, Texas. And I think the casinos and they will put up a lot of money for it. I think that's the biggest money fight right now for Errol the True Spence, especially in like September or October. That would be a big money fight for him and Keith. Keith only needed one fight to tune up against Mario Barnes. Plus, Mario Barnes was a tall, rangy fighter, and he stayed disciplined and used his height. So that kind of got Keith prepared. So plus Keith with his boxing IQ, he don't need a lot of tune-ups because his boxing IQ. A lot of these guys can't beat him because of his IQ and his agility. So it definitely will, in my opinion, be Keith Thurman next up for Errol the True Spence. But Bud Crawford will definitely give Errol a run for his money, but I would lean towards Errol to beat Bud because I just believe Bud can box good, but I think Errol will really tighten up. He won't lunge in against Bud because he can get countered because Bud can come in and out. So I think Keith would just try to walk Bud down, the whole night. Because when you get real physical with Bud, he gets sloppy and you can clip him. Mean Green Machine clipped him. Sean Porter had a lot of success against Bud Crawford. In my opinion, Sean Porter should have won that fight, but I guess he knew at the time, retirement was on the verge. So who knows? It was just a funny, fishy fight there, too. But in my opinion, I would lean towards Errol to have more say to knock off Bud Crawford than Keith Thurman. Even though Bud is undefeated, I think Keith Thurman fought the better opposition. Plus, with Keith Thurman boxing IQ, I think it's a little more sharper than Bud Crawford. Bud is good. He can fight on the back foot. He can do a lot of different things, but I just like Keith one-time Thurman, especially when he's healthy, a healthy Keith. Plus, even at Keith at this age, because Bud is older now, he don't fight the same. So I just like Keith one-time Thurman, and I believe him and Errol has a bigger personal grudge against each other than Bud Crawford. Keith can sell the fight by talking big stuff, talking about Errol and this and that. So, plus this has been a long time coming. Now Errol can get a chance to beat the dog mess out of Keith if he can. How Keith played him when Keith was the man. So it definitely will be interesting to see how this saga go out. This is the triangle between Errol Spence, Keith one-time Thurman, and Bud Crawford. Who would be the man, or who is the man to have the best chance to dethrone Errol the True Spence? Let me know in the comment section who you pick. Who is the man who has the best chance to dethrone Errol the True Spence? These are the words for the one and only Boxing Guru for this episode of Under the Microscope.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.